Hi, my name is Sheri Doherty, and I'm a lady in red, in Act 2 of my career and living my best life. My perspective on life and behaviors have been governed by who I was as a child, who I became, and who I am still striving to be. People my age are beautiful, bold, confident, and full of wisdom, and truly, the encore of the story of your life is still when the best songs are yet to be sung. My mission in this podcast is to shine the spotlight on people like me, have real conversations about reinvention stories, and inspire you to continue to follow your dreams regardless of your age. I'm doing it for Daisy. Who are you doing it for? Good day, and welcome to today's episode of the Encore Podcast. Today, I am delighted to have with me our actual first guest we ever had on the podcast, my friend and now colleague, and we're excited to share with you all about that, Sheri Godfrey. Welcome to the show, Sheri.
Well, thank you, Sheri. I think this is going to become the Sheri and Sheri show.
Oh, that and so many other things. We're so excited. We are sitting here today, and Sheri has so much goodness to share. This has been an amazing year of growth. Just to give the backstory again, if you didn't listen to her initial episode, please go back and listen to episode 2, where you get the full story of who Sheri is, where she was born and raised, what her life looked like, and where she got to around that midpoint. She is definitely in the Encore season, and she is a role model for the Encore women and people in our community. She is a kick-ass, go get it, keep going, keep growing kind of lady who I am delighted to have in my immediate circle. And she's done some amazing things this year, Sheri. So tell us what you did this year.
2023 is coming to an end, and I'm going to be the first one to say that it's been a freaking hard year.
Yeah.
It has been super hard. So if anybody is sitting out there right now listening and you have had some struggles, some challenges, and you just didn't know if you could make it through, keep going. Just keep going and find somebody to be in your corner with you. So it's all I can say is my 2023 has given me some really great lessons as I've been able to bring some really good stuff out into the universe. So one of my first lessons, if I could share,
Sure.
is shorten your circle.
Absolutely.
I have heard it over and over and over again, and I always thought that the bigger my circle was, the bigger the impact I was having.
Right.
And what I've learned is that the smaller my circle is, the bigger my growth is.
Right.
Super hard lesson for me to have, but I can tell you that Sheri has been an enormous cheerleader for me this year. For those who don't know, I have been spending a year studying. Not my favorite thing to do. Really hard, 6 exams, online studying with really dry content. But I made it through. And in October, birthed my real estate license.
Woohoo!
To add to my senior transitions, a full service offering for all of my clients. And I could not have done it without the cheerleaders in my corner. So Sheri is my number one. And I have a girlfriend, Lori, who I chat with every week, who has been my strong
She
number
is a big
two.
warm hug. She was also on the podcast.
She was on the podcast.
I don't remember the episode number, but she was a big warm hug.
My family for helping me and supporting me and giving me the time and the space that I needed. So much more is coming. We are just on the tip of the iceberg as 2023 is rolling up and 2024 is right around the corner. I could not be more excited.
So what did you do this morning for the first time?
Well, this morning for the very first time, I hit submit and I submitted my very first listing, which happens to be a 5-plex. So you know what they say, go big or go home?
Right.
I am going big all the way. I'm in it to win it.
Yes,
and
we
I
are.
think this morning was proof that what I can do for my clients and their family really is heartwarming to me. And this is just a product of the service and the heart-centered work that we do.
So for context, why don't you go back and tell the story of this person and how you met them? And obviously no names or confidential information, but it is a great testament and case study for the relationships that you're able to build, the services that you're able to provide through senior transitions, and then ultimately that trust that you have now earned the right to be at the table and be the one who helps them with the financial transaction in the end, where they're either building a family nest egg, money for long-term care for, say, the elder person, and then the ultimate inheritance for the family. Would you like to tell that story?
So this particular client of mine, I've been with for about a year and a half. And it chokes me up when I think about them because I now see them as family. So I have spent every Friday with them. And we started off with just some soft senior support in their home, which has been a delight for me because it allows me to really build that relationship and that connection. So soft things is what I would do. Is we started doing laundry, meal prep, going for errands with them. I would do groceries for them. Coming up the stairs was just a challenge. So anything stair related, I could do for them. And the longer you're in the presence of somebody, the deeper that trust builds. So we've also been to the cemetery to purchase their plot. I've been to lawyers' appointments. I've been in doctors' appointments, taking notes, and being able to relay back to the family. So the family doesn't live here within Canada. So it's not that they don't want to be present, it's that they can't be present. And having somebody who really has a connection and an attachment makes it so much easier for them to also trust that their loved one is being cared for. And now, when we're navigating home care, retirement community, it is awe inspiring when they describe me as, well, just include Sheri in it because she's just like family for us.
Beautiful.
Once everything is said and done with this particular client, my husband has asked, does that mean your work stop? And yes, to a certain degree, my work stopped, but no, my visits and my heart does not stop.
Aren't you going there after this?
I am going there after this. So even we now have the pleasure of listing his family residence to make sure that his family is looked after and that he is looked after in a retirement community. Even when that is done and he has everything that he needs in this particular community, my heart doesn't stop.
Right.
And I will still continue to see him on a regular basis until I can't see him on the here and now.
Well, you also provide such a complete full circle of services that let's not forget you're an end of life doula. So you can also be holding his hand when he goes on to the next era of whatever happens.
Absolutely. And
Those
that
aren't
is
good words.
that's my intention, is that I have the privilege and the honor of being able to sit side by side, hand in hand, as they do take those final breaths. I can be in
Right.
the room with the family as a warm hug, as that comforting support. It's an honor, it's a privilege. And I do say now, the biggest tool that we have at Senior Transition is our box of Kleenex,
Oh,
and we
yeah.
take it out often.
Absolutely, right? This is a beautiful story. So I wish I knew the date, and I'm actually going to go sometime and search back in my calendar because it's going to be an important date for you and I. But you remember our first conversation at Starbucks, try not to cry, where we birthed this idea together. And to be sitting here today is such an amazing celebration of honestly your hard work and commitment because we brainstormed our half an hour coffee date turned into 3 hours of getting kicked out of Starbucks. But something beautiful was born, including our deep, deep friendship, which I truly appreciate. And you did it. There's so many people. I'm actually reading Joel Osteen's book right now, and there is a chapter I'm reading that is about having the faith not only to start, but the faith to finish. And it's so beautiful. And it just lands because so many people start things. And whether it's a diet or it's a business or New Year's resolutions or whatever they're trying to improve in their life, and it's kind of easy to start things. What's freaking hard is finishing them. And you are a beautiful picture of somebody, like you said, who's in it to win it. You had an idea, you started the business, you made senior transitions happen, you're servicing our community in such a meaningful, impactful way. We dreamed of it then ultimately being something that you could provide for your family in a larger way for the dreams and aspirations you have for your own, to be able to take people right through every part of, like you said, doing their laundry, to helping them figure out where this person should live for the proper care, to the transition of their largest family asset, to saying goodbye at the end. And I'm getting teary and chills. It's happening.
It is happening, and there's so much that you just brought to light that I think we need to unpack a
Okay.
little bit. So, one, Joel Osteen is on my Audible,
Excellent.
and I play him every year.
Excellent.
And when I start to get into those doldrums, and I think I can't do it anymore, It's one of the books that I continue to listen to because he just gives me the motivation and the inspiration to be able to do it.
And his twang is really cute.
It is
I
really
like the
cute.
way he delivers it as well.
I love that he is the reader of the book. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's easy to start. It's harder to finish.
100%.
So I have a girlfriend in particular, and this really used to get under my skin, is every time I would see her, she would say, "So what are you doing now?" "Oh, I can never keep up." "So what are you doing now?" So I have been the queen of starts, and I've really not been the queen of finishing.
Okay.
But when I look at her, she is an employee of a job that she doesn't love. She bitches and complains about it all the time. And when I sit and I look, I'm like, so that's an option that I have in life. I can just sign up for a job that doesn't fill my soul. I begrudge going in. I'm punching somebody else's time clock and I'm hating every moment of it. Life is too short for that. And yes, I have tried a few things. So for those who are listening who know me and are wondering, well, how long is this going to last? I'm here to last for the long haul. So what I found is really important is that sometimes you do need to start all kinds of things to see if those are for you or not for you. So although I didn't finish everything that I started, I know what's not for me.
Right.
And
I said that about
think-
dating, actually.
Right? It's super important to know who or what is not for you.
Right. And when you find the thing or the one, then you're in it.
And you're running full steam, full fire. And now it's a running joke in my household. My husband, Tim, will say, "So when are you going to give something up? Like when you're taking something off of your plate?" The conversation is, "I don't understand. I'm not sure I get what you're trying to say." That hang on to your hat because the next little while, this is what life is going to be. I'm in it to win it at all costs in all realms. And the more I take on, it's because I'm having a bigger impact in my life and in my business and in my community. I'm not here to start giving stuff up. I'm here really to take more on so that I can serve in a bigger purpose.
Right. And while you were saying that, I was thinking about the even bigger way that you're having an impact. You're employing people now. So not only are you providing for yourself and your family and servicing our community in such a beautiful way, you're actually creating employment for people. And we know a couple in our world that really need it. And they need a kind, understanding, loving, I'm going to say the word employer, but someone that they work with and for in a beautiful, supportive way. And I know you have a vision.
Oh, I have a vision.
I know you have a vision.
I have a vision. I have
So
a big
imagine
vision.
not only are you doing what you are doing that just needs the Sheri special touch, but say in the future you're employing 5 people and impacting their families, or 10 people, or 50 people. It's a
And
beautiful.
it's how do we impact those?
Right.
So even as a senior transition and now with stage 1 real estate, there's different entities that we need that I don't do. Mover in particular.
Right.
So we have sat and interviewed movers that I want to align and I want to partner with. And when I align with them and partner with them, I want their values to match my values. I need to also know that they're honoring our living wage.
Right.
As we have a minimum wage, which is not good enough for adults. Great for those that are in high school, for sure. But for those single moms or those working dads who are out there trying to fulfill a family, minimum wage just doesn't cut it. And even living wage is on the low side. And I'm shocked at how many people I sit with who just can't grasp the concept that they should be paying more than a minimum wage. This is my opportunity to really pay it full circle. So I get to impact seniors. I get to impact their families. I also get to impact in a positive way the team members that I pull in to help me. If I can pay them a living wage at minimum, maybe they are working 1.5 jobs instead of 2 or 3.
Right.
Because let's be real, minimum wage, they're not eating steak every night for dinner.
Right.
They're just not having to work as hard. And my goal is to be able to beef that up even more so that we are making a true impact with every person that we're touching with our senior transitions and our stage 1 real estate. It's important to me.
Absolutely. And I know because you say that with your heart when you say it, and that is very important to you because you say it a lot. So I know that when people say something, it does mean something to them. I love that you identified, when we're going back to kind of the faith to finish thing, I 100% agree with you that when you try things, even if it's not your thing, you now know. and just keep trying until you find the thing that ignites that fire in you. And you are absolutely on fire. This is beautiful. 2024 has nothing on us. This year has been a significant year of growth for you, but it's literally just your launching pad.
Oh, we are just getting started.
Oh, absolutely.
We are just getting started. So, for those who are listening right now who are in their 50s, and this is a little bee in my bonnet, I'm too old. I don't have enough of. I could never. I'm going to ask you to stop at this particular moment and say, my life experience has led me to this point. It has given me the experience, it has given me the knowledge, and I now have the time to do anything and everything that I want. I'm 54, and I think I've got a good 20 years left to work.
Yeah, we do.
So I'm not retiring at 65 because that's the status quo or that's the expectation. I'm here to build a long-lasting business because I know I've got a good 20 years minimum to invest in myself and the community. So if you think for a second that you can't, you need to reach out to Sheri and Sheri.
Oh, right.
We need to sit and have a coffee, and we will educate you otherwise that we, in our second act, are just getting started. The encore is the best. The best is yet to come.
Oh, I absolutely love this part of our life. I was thinking recently, I'm so happy. And 55 years of life and experience and work and career building has brought me to this point. So, although a lot of that wasn't easy and there's been left turns and right turns and things that were completely unexpected, I am so sincerely grateful for it all because it brought me to who I am today and what I'm capable of today. And I don't have any tolerance for people or things that are not my people or my things, which is also a beautiful, freeing time to be in your life as well. Because if you're not for me, you're not with me.
Well, I know you've heard me say this before, girlfriend. When you've made it, let me know. I'm going to pack my bags and fly with you. And I'm really sorry, but if you're not willing to sit in the trenches and dig the ditches, you are not packing a bag and flying the skies with me. Because with the good comes the not so good.
Right.
And we need to be together through the good times and the bad times. It's not everything is going to be a bed of roses. And I can tell you that I'm here to dig the trenches with Sheri. And I know that Sheri is digging them with me.
Oh, we're building this plane, sister.
And there is room for more.
Absolutely.
We will be packing our bags when all is said and done, and there will be a good vacation on the horizon, and there is room for all of you. So if you're willing to dig in really deep and you really want to soar the skies and go really high, I implore you, I really do implore you, reach out, sit and have a conversation. Let us boost you so that together we can make an impact on all areas of the community. Like, the goodness is just started.
Oh, absolutely. What are your New Year's resolutions?
I don't have any.
Okay, let's learn about that.
I don't. So I've had New Year's resolutions every year. And what I find is that if I resolve to do something, it just doesn't get done. So I resolved probably to lose the same 50 pounds for the last 10 years.
Oh, yeah.
Just has not worked. So how do I change my thought pattern to make it different this year so that I'm not sailing down the same river? So this year, what I've decided to do is I have come up with a personal mission statement, a personal vision statement, which has allowed me to create my ideal day. So I really believe that everything that I'm doing has to be integrated. So business and life, I'm opting for a lifestyle, not just a business and not just a life. How do I incorporate it all? And I'm going to let my vision and my mission statement be my driving force for the year. And it's not even the money.
Right.
So I don't have a dollar amount that is set out. I believe if I can do good, good will come to me. So it's how can I be a better person? How can I make a better impact? And how can I live my life truly and authentically moving forward? And I think authentically is used way too often. Well, my authentic self always shows up. Well, I would certainly hope that you're showing up as your authentic self. And I would certainly hope that title doesn't mean that you're now portraying yourself as something different.
Well, were you being inauthentic before?
Right? For me, that buzzword is overused, and it's how can I move away from the resolutions and move away from all of that pressure and move into a lifestyle that's adaptable and adoptable for the vision of the future that I have, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with you. Mine is a little bit similar in that I'm not setting any particularly bold resolutions. I'm actually very happy with my routine and what I'm accomplishing and how my life is running right now. I would say I have some intentions, which I'm going to use as my North Star, guiding my behaviors on a daily basis. And my biggest intention is to choose joy every day. So,
Yes.
very simple. I've done a lot of reflecting this year as well because it's been a big year in lots of ways. One of my greatest wins is having you join the team and the friendship that we've developed. So, I love that and thank you for it. I have reflected a lot though I think in the past, and we know if you go way back to probably even the first episode, I talked about some of my childhood baggage that I've brought forward, and a lot of it had to do with money. And I really started to think this year about how I'm a whole person and money should not define me or overshadow all the other parts of my life. And there is a tool somewhere, you can probably research it online, but when you think about who you are and what you're made of that makes you whole, sure, finances are important because that's how you get through in life and how you provide for your family. However, I need to have a good relationship with my health, with my family, with my friends, with my fitness, and with my faith. And yes, finances are part of what drives that, but it's just a piece of the pie and you can't let it overshadow everything. And I think that was something that I really came to terms with this year as I was looking at the balance in my life, because as we know, my health got out of whack. And then I let that take over the whole of Sheri. And then I had to remember to dial that back to this is just a sliver. My family's still beautiful. I have beautiful friends. I have my faith, all the other important things. So I think that's something really big that I took away from this year as well.
Lots to learn.
Yeah.
Lots to
For
learn.
sure,
And I
right.
think when we let the money be our driving factor, how can you be super excited about waking up in the morning? It has to be more than just the money. Now, with that said, I believe that we are entitled to work hard.
Absolutely.
We're entitled to play hard, and we are entitled to earn hard. So I have no bones about that piece of it. But 2023 really has been eye-opening. So last January, I had a girlfriend of mine choose to leave this world before her time was out. August, it saw us going back home, which is Nova Scotia, for an absolutely beautiful celebration of life. And it really did drive home that life really is short
Right.
and fleeting. How are we going to make the most of the moments that we have? And as I sit here with Sheri, we talk about health. I'm going through the testing for osteoporosis for the
Me
early
too.
stages.
Funny.
Sheri and Sheri are bringing it to the table as I've got 2 compression fractures in my back. So that could allow me to sit at home and do nothing and twiddle my thumbs and wait for that to heal. It will heal on its own. It's uncomfortable. It's not pleasant, but it doesn't stop me from getting up and doing my passion. And if money was my driving factor, I would probably still be sitting on the couch.
Well, let me just tell you, if I haven't told you, as a realtor, there are going to be many days and weeks where you don't make any money. Should we have talked about that before?
No. We'll pretend I didn't hear that. La 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 la.
Right.
la.
But
It
what
will all
I'm
come
hearing you
together.
say back to, what I'm talking about is you're choosing joy,
100% choosing joy.
which is beautiful. I love
Yeah,
that.
life is extremely short. Our days are numbered. None of us have an expiry date. You can't flip yourself over and look yourself on the ass and see what your mark is. It just isn't there.
I don't want to know.
No, we're all leaving at some point. Make an impact and make an impression while you can, and live life to the fullest, filled with joy every day. That's the one thing that you can bring with you.
Absolutely. That's perfect. I think we'll leave it at that. I want to thank you for an incredible year. I am really excited for 2024 and beyond forever for us. It's going to be beautiful. I thank all of our listeners for listening along and following our stories. Sheri's very serious, and I echo her sentiment that if you were ever inspired by anything we chat about, or if you ever want to talk about, you're in an encore season, there's often also the season of change, which isn't the funnest. We can inspire you, motivate you, encourage you, and be your cheerleaders. And we'd be happy, both or either one of you, to have a coffee and talk. And I want to wish everyone the very, very best for the holiday celebrations coming up. And you'll hear lots more from us in the new year.